Hi internet people, and welcome to this week's Scream Queens recap. Well, reaction. This show does this thing to me where I feel like I can recap it, but I could recap it really quickly, like 2 seconds or less. So I'm really just reacting to stuff that happened in the episode this week. There is a hiatus for 2 weeks. The vice presidential debates are on in the US, so that's happening next Tuesday, which means no new Scream Queens. Alright, so Colton Hayes showed up as this, tumor-covered patient. The name of the episode was like Warts and All, and he and Chanel number 5 start dating, and Chad Rebel shows up as the Red Devil from last season, but it's really just to surprise Chanel / scare Chanel. Chanel goes on a date with John Stamos' doctor, Dr. Brock. Yes, I keep just wanting to call him John Stamos. They go on a date, his hand does some strangly stuff. We find out that his hand belonged to a murderous squash player, and now it just it wants to squeeze people and steal Twizzlers at the movies. Zayday and the candy striper guy, Clarence? Do you think it's Clarence? They were doing some investigating. They're also trying to figure out what's wrong with Dean Munch because it turns out she's actually sick. We find out that she apparently has the thing that happens to cannibals, where your like brain gets messed up because you ate human flesh. Yeah, so there's that. What else? Denise showed back up to help out, and we got to see Hester in prison. But she wants a transfer. Yeah, so things are coming together. The green meanie appeared, did not kill Chanel number 5, if you haven't already guessed, but did totally kill, Colton Hayes' character. But there we go. They did show a flashback to explain, because Zayday is trying to figure out, like, who the green meanie is, which makes sense, and they find out that on a specific Halloween, the entire hospital was murdered, which makes sense because the Halloween before, I'm pretty sure that the pregnant woman and her husband had that whole like, oh, my husband was just killed by a doctor, even though the one nurse was like, I didn't tell anybody, because the wife wouldn't have figured out that her husband died at all. Never okay. Yeah. So lots of stuff is like setting up. I don't know. I really want to keep watching Scream Queens, but this happened to me last season too. I feel like stuff is building up, but then I'm like, I don't, like, some stuff is funny, some stuff is just sort of like, okay. There were some really odd jokes this week. Like, there was a Dick Cheney joke. Yeah, I don't know if everyone got that one. There was I didn't even catch this one. I had to ask someone who'd actually seen 21 Jump Street, the television show. Greco? Do you know? Yeah, I didn't watch 21 Jump Street, the show. I'm sorry. And then, what was the other one? Oh, they referenced Encyclopedia Brown a ton this week, which, I mean, I was cool with. I used to read Encyclopedia Brown all the time, and it's like, they're trying to solve a mystery, so okay, mystery detective, got it. That's how Colton Hayes' character was trying to figure out who the green meanie was, and actually is what resulted in his character dying. But I'm really wondering if everyone caught those jokes. I just am. There were a lot of like random Hannibal-y references going on today. The cannibalism, the Hester thing, the arrest of the squash guy. He had like fancy food. Foie gras, frog, blah, blah, blah. I can't say that word. Foie gras. There we go. So fancy food. He's wearing like a mock turtleneck, had his hair done. But yeah, stuff's getting set up. Nurse Hoffel knows that Dean Munch is super sick and dying. She also doesn't really like anybody, so I feel like she might swoop in. I also keep thinking she's totally the wife from the 80s. Like, I just keep thinking that over and over again, and like her kid is the green meanie, and that's what's going on. I don't know. That's my thought. But I feel like stuff is happening, like characters are coming back, they're like trying to set the plot up, but it's still like, it still seems very slow to me. And I was more freaked out every episode when like last season, because like already introduced characters were dying every week, so you didn't know like who was safe, and now this time it's a new character is introduced every week, that character then dies. So there's more like a, oh, you're going to die, okay. Like, if Catherine, not me, but the werewolf girl. I did tweeze after that, by the way. I mean, after she died, and then now Colton dies, now I know his name in the show wasn't Colton, but I have a terrible name remembering the character names, except the Catherine thing. So now I'm just assuming that every time a new person with some sort of disease is introduced, they're just going to die, which is a plot you can do. It's a weekly solve a mystery kind of thing. It just seems a little different than what they were doing in season 1, where like no one was off limits. This feels like everyone is off limits except random new character presented to you this week. So I don't know, I'm going to keep watching. My live tweet was still not crazy exciting. I don't know if West Coast is just more like into it, or if I'm just not following enough Scream Queens people, or what is going on. But like my Twitter feed was dead, and not like green meanie dead. I don't know. But yeah, that's everything that happened. I'm trying. I really want to like this season, cause like I know I had an issue with season 1 where like I kind of was like super excited and then was like woof, and then was like amped up again after like a very low peak where I almost stopped watching the show. So I'm really hoping that it amps back up. The issue is that I'm also watching American Horror Story, also by Ryan Murphy right now, and I'm really liking American Horror Story, so then I like watch Scream Queens and I want to be as excited as I am for this new season of American Horror Story, and I'm just not, which is also affecting it a little. So this is not intentionally like a super downer video, but that's everything that happened and my feelings so far. You may be loving Scream Queens this season, and I am excited if you are. I'm just in like this low point. So I'm hoping after the 2-week absence that I will be hype and excited and all over like, woo, Scream Queens. So we shall see in 2 weeks after the vice presidential debates. Share your Scream Queens thoughts with me in the comments or on Twitter at Kleffnotes. Tell me what you're loving. Tell me if you're having any plot issues. Just tell me what you're thinking. You can also find me on my blog, kleffnotes.wordpress.com. I write for the Nerdy Girl Express, thenerdygirlexpress.com. I run their Snapchat, the Nerdy Girl EXP, and I post recipes on the iZombie Support Group site, iZombieSupportGroup.com. Bye, Internet people.